Happy Saturday, everybody. Okay, and welcome. We're going to go through a power hour here for some of the newer coaches, or for a new coach if you've not gone through one of these before. These are the literal daily actions that we do every single day. I can already see that we've got some more seasoned coaches on the call with us, which is fantastic, because I use a certain system, if you will, to log and to run through these actions every day myself. But my system is not the only system. So there are many systems that work. I don't want to get to, guys, the seasoned coaches here, I don't want to get too into Teamzy and stuff right now, trying to explain all of that, because especially for a new coach, it's really overwhelming to try to figure out Teamzy. So let's try not to talk too much about that. However, just know that there is an option Teamzy, but I would just wait until you kind of have a foundation for understanding what we do every day, and then we can move into utilizing third-party tools to help log what we're doing. First off, if this is your, if you're watching this and you are a brand new coach, which we have a lot of new coaches in Team Cup right now and a lot of newer coaches on the team, I would say we're going to go through these actions every day. So if you're watching this afterward, I want you to kind of participate in this the same way that everybody is going to right now. So we're literally going through this step by step. This should take you about an hour during the day. But it can be, and you'll see how we do it, it can be broken up into different little sections. If you are in, I'll say this now, if you're in a Team Cup team, you are going to do more of this when we walk through than people that are not in a Team Cup team, because Team Cup is all about kind of pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone and just doing a little bit more and pushing to help a little bit more, a few more people throughout the month. So with that said, we're going to be just not doing different actions than these. We're just going to do more of them. Really, that's it. So let's kind of start. If you've never coached before, ever, I want you to take 5 minutes now or a couple minutes now and literally, okay, this is my first time inviting. Maybe I've invited a couple people, but I haven't really gone through the whole inviting process. I want you just to take a couple minutes, pause the video, or take a couple minutes right now, and I want you to grab a piece of paper and write down, just for today, for right now, write down 10 people's names that you know that you think may be able to benefit from eating healthier, working out, following one of the programs, one of the groups for accountability, maybe the business opportunity, whatever it is. Just think of their names and write their names down. Do not think of whether or not you think they would be interested in what you do. Don't put that in your mind. Simply say, you know what? I know so-and-so, she's fun, I like her, I'd love to do a group with her, I'd love to have her support me. Boom, write the name down. This person, oh, you know what? I've heard that they were into fitness before. Cool, write the name down. Don't overthink it. So sit down, take a couple minutes, and write those names down. For all of us that have been coaching for a little bit that are on the call right now, we probably already have a little bit of a system, so we're not going to do that right now. But just for the rest of you, it's going to make things a lot faster as we go through this process. So everybody knows that has been coaching, and if you're new to coaching, what you'll find out is we've got a few things that we do every single day that are absolutely they are the thing that are going to allow you to help people. Okay, that's all there is to it. If your goal is to help as many people as possible, it doesn't matter if your goal is to end this as a 6-figure business or something like that, right? It's regardless of if your goal is high end or if your goal is simply, hey, I want to get my shakes paid for. Whatever it is, the process is going to look the same. Again, we're just going to do more if we have bigger goals. Okay. So with that said, hey Justice, how you doing, bud? If you're new to this, you're going to do basically 3 separate things throughout the day, and then there's going to be a 4th one added in a little bit later. But the 3 separate things you're going to do every day are, you're going to work on yourself, number 1. So we just got done with cardio flow. God, that is a wicked workout. We just got done with that. But number 1 is you take care of yourself mentally. That means personal development. If you have not figured out a book that you are reading or listening to on audio already, right now, your number 1 goal is, what book am I going to read? I will tell you that Compound Effect by Darren Hardy is an amazing book, especially as a new coach. There is You're a Badass by Jen Sincero is also an amazing book. Or the two books, probably Compound Effect is one of the most common books that coaches will recommend for new coaches to kind of understand how this whole thing works, because it truly is. All of this is one big compounding effect. Jen Sincero's You're a Badass is one of my favorite books, hands down. I think it's incredible. So if you have not read one of those 2, I would just start there. Start with reading one of those 2. They're great ideas. If you have maybe if you've read those or you want other options, reach out to your coach, reach out to Dan or myself. We will give you other options. And the number one thing is you're going to do your workout. You're going to plug 10 minutes, a minimum of 10 minutes every single day. I listen to mine in the car on the way to work. Okay, just plug it onto audio oh my gosh, why can't I think of the name right now? An audio app on my phone. Oh, wow. But you know what I'm talking about. Say it again, Jen. Audible. Thank you. Plug it into Audible and I listen to it on the car. It's just the easiest way for me to do it, right? So that's what I do. That's what I would recommend unless you like the actual paperback and you have time to read, right? So you do that, you do your workout, drink Shakeology, you feed your body nutrition, you go through the nutrition plans, you work on yourself and try to be the best that you can be. Done. Now, put that aside. We also share online, right? We share our journey authentically. If you haven't watched the team calls from the last couple of weeks, watch those team calls. We go all over how to share authentically online. Sharing what we do is probably one of the biggest things that we do because it allows us to create a connection with people so that when we go through what we're about to go through, which is an invite process, we have a reason to reach out and invite people. It'll allow people to actually be able to receive what we're asking from them or offering to them. So without that connection, it's really hard to have people want to trust what you're saying, right? So we know that we have to have a connection, which is why if you're a brand new coach, I said, write down 10 names of people that you already know, not just 10 names of, hey, I saw this guy there's this guy at the supermarket that I've seen twice, and I saw his name tag said Frank, I'm gonna write his name down. No, like people that you already have that relationship with, so they already have a level of knowing you and trusting you, right? So start there. So that's why we share and why it's so important we share. Watch those videos, they're gonna help you through that. The next thing we do is we invite, and that's what we're really gonna go through today. We're gonna go through a simple, how do we build our network? How do we invite? And how do we actually log all of this stuff so that we can create a system so we don't have to think and just go blindly into this every day. So we're going to go through all of that. And then as we go along, we recognize people for their accomplishments, whether it be your team, whether it be somebody in your challenge group, whether it be, one of your family members, whatever it is, but we recognize people because at the end of the day, we're all doing the hard work. So everybody deserves to be recognized. So we dive into that too. So today we're going to go over the literal invite process, why, how, and what, right? What is an invite? How do we do it? And why are we doing it? And then we're going to go into how to expand your network, how to reach out and meet new people, and how to kind of get all those things put into place. So number one thing I'll give you, and I'm just going to give you my process. This is what I personally do. Number one thing is I wake up in the morning and do my workout. Like that's simple, right? Then we go into our groups. Immediately I go into the group with Deanna and we film a quick video. Not everybody has to film a video. Everybody runs challenge groups differently, okay? So if you're a new coach, you're gonna be plugging people into your coach's challenge group. You're not gonna be running it, you're gonna be co-coaching it. So you're gonna be in Deanna and my challenge group. We do videos because it's easier than me writing out a post. It's just faster, right? I prefer it. So that's what I do. If it's easier for you to write out a post, great. It is what it is. But you go in your challenge group, you post it, you think about, I personally, while I'm doing my workout, I'm thinking about what I'm gonna make my morning post about. That's just how I work. I'm thinking like, hey, what am I gonna say? Is there anything, a quick way, guys, to come up with a post is to think about what the trainer, in this particular case, most of us are doing 80-day obsession, what Autumn is saying in that video. She'll say things like, you'll always, if you're listening to it, you'll get little nuggets like, your success isn't built from going around the obstacle, it's built from going over the obstacle, right? Or your satisfaction isn't built from going around. Say something like that and you go, okay, that's great. I can make a post and I can share a little part of my story today and how that meant something to me, right? We're not creating content, we're literally just sharing what we've already heard from somebody else. I like to tell people when I go live in the morning about like a mindset thing, I like to tell people, look, I'm learning, I'm going through personal development, all I'm doing is learning out loud with you guys. So I'm just gonna regurgitate what I learned in my own words, and that's how people get value from it. So that's one way I'm thinking. Then I immediately sit down and we go into work. We're gonna go into actually adding friends. So the first thing we need to do is we need to have people to talk to, right? You're gonna start as a new coach with just talking to people that you already know. But while you're going through this process of talking to people that you already know, you're also gonna be wanting to expand your network so that you're, as those friends, as you run through that list of people that you already know, you're gonna have more friends to talk to, more new people that you've met to talk to. So right now, we're gonna take a couple minutes and we're all gonna go on our Facebook page, and there's a few different ways, and anybody that's got some extra tips to this, please feel free to raise your hand and jump in. I go to two different things. I go to my suggested friends list. You'll notice, I'll see if I can share my screen right now here. Let's see, share screen. You'll notice, share time. Yes, okay, perfect. So let me share my screen here now. You guys can all see that. Okay, so I'll go down here. So when I go, okay, to my Facebook page, usually I'm actually, to be honest, guys, in this process, I'm actually usually doing this when I'm on my phone. So it's in a different place, right, for me when I'm on my phone. So if you're doing it from your laptop, you're going to find, I actually have to look for it because I never do this on my laptop. So I'm assuming it'll be in friends, and it will be, let's see here, add friends, let's see, or find friends, and then scroll down. And okay, so I go to plus, find friends like you guys just saw, and then scroll down, you'll see people you may know. And I just go through these go through this list, and basically here's what I'm looking for. I'll go through and find people, me personally, I look for people that actually have like this, right? This girl, she's smiling. Like people that actually look happy in their photos, that have a clean photo, right? Meaning like a clear photo. I look for that kind of stuff, right? Because it tells me that the person is a little, like you can see happiness in somebody's face, even if it's fake, right? But it's better than like seeing somebody that just looks angry, or a random photo or something that's just not going to gel with me, right? And so I'll look through, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to learn a little bit about them real quick. This is a fast thing. And then I'll just scroll over who their mutual friends are, and I'll look at their mutual friends and make sure that we don't have a bunch of coach friends in common. There's not a bunch of people on our team that are common names, or people that I know that are other coaches. Because if there's another coach in there, I'm not going to add them as a friend, because they could be talking to them and I don't want to step on toes. And there's so many people that we can help. We don't need it. There's never going to be a lack of people to help. So I just look at it and go, okay, you know what? They could be talking to them. I'm going to go ahead, and there's plenty of other people I can talk with. So I'll go through and just kind of look at people and scroll through the page and go, okay, does this look like somebody that I would want to talk to? There's a lot of, for me, like, okay, there's a lot of just photos, right? There's not a lot of stuff going on, like not a lot of sharing. It's just this, probably not my tribe. So I'll go back and I'll find somebody else. So we just kind of scroll through and find people that kind of make sense from that perspective. So take about, if you have questions, again, raise your hand. I can't see you. Raise your hand. And ask away, but take a couple minutes right now and just go through and add 5 friends, find 5 new people, and just send a friend request. Don't think about it, just bam, 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 and then we'll jump in. Raise your hand when you're done with that. Okay, just so you guys know, another way you can do it is I always look through my old posts. All of our Facebook pages should be public. Okay, it's very important. So make sure that they're public, because that way your friends, when they comment on it, their friends can see those posts when they comment on a post. And that's how you're going to be able to affect change in more people as well, because more people are going to be able to see what you're doing and see the inspiration that you're posting, right? So another way that I'll do it is I'll actually go to any of my recent posts. I'll look at them, and I'll go through and see, okay, who do I know in here that is, or who says like this, and I'll click on it and I'll pick it up and I'll go, okay, go scroll down. Usually at the bottom, you'll see the people that are not friends, right? And I'll say add friend. And then I'll look at them and say, who are my mutual friends? Okay, my wife already is, and I'll go through. Most of these are going to be my wife's or Deanna's friends because I actually tagged her in it, right? So if I don't know them, it's probably because she knows them. Yeah. But so I'll go through there and go, okay, well, maybe not. See Darren. Okay, so I'll add, right? And go through. So that's another way. There's also, you can join groups as well and add friends through groups. Here's what I will say about groups, and this is very important. So please remember this. If you go into a group, 9 out of 10 groups do not want people posting spam. They don't want people going in and just starting friend requests. They don't want people just to go in just to try to get friends out of it. So, and realistically, I kind of like that because that's not really what we should be doing anyway. We should be going in and interacting with people, start having conversations. The whole point of social media is to be social. So go on, start having conversations. And when somebody and you start interacting and they seem cool and you guys get along, great. That's a person that you can then send a friend request and then take that friend request and send them a private message and take that conversation into PMs and start building that relationship. But don't just go in and look through the group and start bam, 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 adding friends and spamming people. Like nobody wants that and it's not going to be received well, but it is a good place to start building those relationships within the group. Then you can start adding them. Then you can start talking to them. So just kind of recognize that it is in that process. And that's the kind of appropriate process for it all. Okay, I'm going back to here. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen here for a second and then make sure that, or does anybody have any questions? Is everybody good? Okay. If anybody has a question, raise their hand. I can only see so many. And then again, raise your hand when you are done with all that and we'll move into starting new conversations and how we log that. Guys, FYI, Jerry, you're done, good. FYI, I don't log who I add as a friend. Some people write that down, and if you want to write that down, write it down. I have a little pad here. If you can see this, this is where I'm a paper and pencil kind of person or a paper and pen kind of person. So I actually have a book that I go through and I log. I write down everything I do every day because it allows me to go back and look at what I've done easily. I don't know what it is about it. I'm just better at this than I am on computer. Realistically, if I was good with spreadsheets, it'd probably be a lot faster and more convenient, and I probably need to do that. But for now, this works for me, and it's 4 years into it, and I haven't needed to change, so this is what I do. But I don't write down my friends, the friends that I add. I write down like the rest of the stuff that we're going to go through today. So if you have a pen and pad or a pad and pen, this would be a good time to grab that. Make sure that you've got open to a clean page. If you're going to write stuff down, it might be a good way to just do it today so you can see how the process goes. And then we'll get into starting conversations with people and kind of what that looks like. So let me know again when everybody is all set. Just go ahead and give me a hands up when you're done with adding those 5 friends. Jen, you're good. Marty, you're good. Jessica, you're good. Good. All right. Fantastic. Justice, you're all good. And Jerry, were you able to add 5 friends? You good? All right. Cool. And yep, I just saw Jerry. Okay. Perfect. Evan, I think you're good, brother. I can't see you, but I know that you're a seasoned vet at this, brother. So I know that this is no game to you. Okay. So now we're going to move into starting new conversations. So this looks different than it used to. So for some of us that have been in this a long time, been doing it the way that we used to do it, I changed this up, and I changed it up only because it's what I learned from other people that were changing it up, right? This is the thing about coaching. It constantly evolves. Social media constantly evolves. So it's great. With that said, we need to change the way we approach it. So the next thing we do is we start conversations with people. We need to start conversations with new people, right, all the time, because we need to be social. This is how we get people, again, to know, love, and trust us. It used to be that we would send private messages to random people and say hello, and it was awkward, if I'm honest, and I never really felt great about it, but it was what we did. Now it looks different. So now I will go and I'll do this. So if you are a new coach and you're just starting out, we would do this with 3 to 5 people, or as many people as you feel comfortable with doing. But I would say at a minimum, 3 people is an absolute minimum amount of people that you would do these next steps with. If you're in a team cup team, you need to be looking closer to 10, because I've gone through and seen most of your goals for the month. And for what our goals are, talking to 10 new people every day is pretty much what it's going to take to get there. All right. So it is what it is. And that's fantastic, because it's really going to start building some momentum. And if you feel like you can do more, That's even better. Sorry, I'm looking for a pen. I was horribly unprepared. This is terrible. Okay. Oh, I got this red one. I'll use that. So this is what we do. I actually write at the top of my page, I write the date. So I'll write, today is Saturday, February, what is the date? February what? February 3rd. February 3rd and 2018. And then I'll write down new combos. And so I write down new combos, I underline it, and then I write down the number 1 below it. And these, I will log the names. And what we'll do is I go over to my Facebook profile again, right? My actual profile. So I click on favorite or Facebook, come to my profile, and then I go again back to friends, and I go into recently added friends, and I start looking through those names for the people that I have not spoken to before, right? So I'll scroll down and go, okay, who have I not talked to before? And I'll start looking at them, and I'll go, okay, I've actually talked to them, I've talked to her. So I'll find the new ones that I haven't had a private conversation with. And for what I do, I actually double click and I open that in a new tab, right? And I'll find, we'll do 5 today just for time's sake for you guys. But I'll find usually 10 for myself, and I'll go in and open all of them. So I'm doing that. Oops, not Genesis. And okay. So I go to 5, and then I just click on the tab, and I go, okay, and I start looking through the page, right? And I go, okay, let's see. Awesome. And I just find the first thing I can find that actually resonates with me. Like, I'm not going to comment on something that makes no sense to me, or if I completely disagree with it or I think it's ridiculous. I'm going to find something that is actually, that's actually fun, right? Or that I actually can agree with, so I can have a natural and honest conversation. So she says here, Elliot is her dog, right? Or no, it's not. Oh my gosh. Elliot is her son. So don't make that mistake, because that would be super awkward. But yeah, so I think this is actually, that's hilarious, right? So I can just throw in here a comment, right? And I'm just being honest, right? And I just make it simple, right? It doesn't have to be like ridiculous. Now I write that name down, because this is the way we do new conversations now. We start a conversation just by showing up in the feed, right? In a perfect scenario, you would actually be able to ask a question in this comment. For me, I personally feel like I'm going to write what feels natural. If a question feels unnatural, I don't see myself a problem with. It's more important to me that I get it done than sit here for 20 minutes trying to figure out a question to ask. So instead, I'm going to say, okay, you know what if she said this to me in person? Oh my gosh, after I gave him Tums, we're in the freaking store, and he out loud says, "Mom, I think the drugs you're giving me wore off." What would I say to that? Like, how would I normally have a conversation? I'd be like, "Oh my God, you gotta love what kids say out loud in public. That's ridiculous." That's it. Like, that would be my conversation. I wouldn't naturally ask a question that I don't think for myself. So I'm just gonna do that. Then I write down the name Erica, right? And I write down her name right here. So take a few minutes and try to do that with a minimum. Well, for today, right now, with 5 new people. 5 people you have not spoken to before. And then when you're done, raise your hand. Now, in a scenario where, like, guys, so I've just clicked on this profile, and I'm noticing that the last post was a little while ago. It was January 31st. So it was, for me, like I would still probably comment on this, but if it's too much beyond that, like if it's like 2 weeks ago or a while, too long ago, I would either look for something else. Like, so I might click on this, like this photo is actually hilarious to me, right? So I might just click on the banner photo and comment on that banner photo because I think it's funny and it resonates. But like this, because it was only on the 31st, it's only a few days ago, so I can get away. I'd probably comment on that as well. But me personally, I think it's weird if I like scroll down and I see something just posted on the, 21st of December and it's February and I'm like, hey, it's like, dude, why were you creeping my page? Like that didn't just come up in your newsfeed. It seems weird. So to me, that would seem weird. So for me, I prefer to find something else to comment on. But again, there's no wrong way to do it. It's up to you. We're just building relationships. It's a matter of what feels natural and comfortable for you in your own life. So make your own decision on that, but I'm just sharing what I do. Is everybody good? Alrighty. And Jessica, Jen, Marty, you guys still working or? Jen, if you need more time, we're totally good. There's no rush to any of this, guys. You just let me know. What'd you say, Jen?
Give me 3 minutes.
No problem. No worries. No worries. While you're doing that, I'm going to share, because you know the process, Jen, but I'm going to share, kind of go through it with everybody else, what we'll do next. So the next thing we're going to do, and again, if anybody, like especially the seasoned coaches, if you guys want to read, if you want to jump on and read what an invite looks like for you, I'll share mine. And then you guys feel free to jump on and share yours as well, because they're going to kind of look different for everybody. But what we would do next is, for those new coaches, if you've never done this before, at the very beginning of this, I said write down 10 names of people that you know. This is when you take those 10 names, right? If you are brand new and you're in a Team Cup team, you take all of those names and you're going to send a message like this to everybody, all 10 of them. And this is, we usually do 10 a day. I mean, I do 10 a day. I don't know what Jessica and Jen and other people do. I don't know what they're doing right now, but I know if I'm in a Team Cup, I'm doing a minimum of 10 a day, realistically more, because it's supposed to be a push for me, right? So I got to do more than I usually do. Here's my recommendation for any new coaches or any coaches out there at all. Do what you can do consistently every day. Do not try and do 400 invites one day and then 0 the next day. Do what you can do. If you can consistently every single day send out 3 messages and invite 3 new people to join you, fantastic. Do that. If you feel like, you know what, I can invite 5 people, fantastic. Invite 5. But if you feel like it's going to be a push to the point where you get overwhelmed, stop. It's okay. Step back. It's not important that we do 1 million right now. It's important that we do whatever we can do every single day to create a habit, and B, to create the consistency within the business. And what you'll learn, and as crazy as it sounds, what you learn is this is just like working out. You don't do one workout on Monday and then go, oh, I missed Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so I'm going to do 4 hours on Friday, right? You don't do that. You do it consistently every single day on purpose, because you're training different muscles, different things are happening, and there's a reason that it functions in that framework. This is the exact same thing. If you feel like you can invite 3 people every single day consistently for 6 years, do that. You're going to get more. I mean, you're going to do more than that, because you're going to get used to it, and so the process is going to get more natural for you, and you're going to figure out, oh, okay, the fear is going to go away, and you're going to be like, this really isn't scary, but it seems like that at first, right? So whatever you can do naturally and consistently, do that. For me, it's 10. It's like a normal thing for me. I don't think much of it, right? For some people, it's 5, and that's great. For some people, it's 20, right? There's coaches out there who invite 50 people every day. So it really is whatever works for you. But I would say minimum of 3 people every day, because if it's not 3 people, even if you want to, just get your shakes paid for, it's gonna be harder. And here's the other key to this. A, not everyone's gonna respond, so you're not gonna get 3 responses. That's a natural thing. B, most people are gonna say no. Just means not right now. It's totally normal and it's totally okay. They're not saying no to you. So understand that first. They're not saying no to you. They're saying no to what they think or anticipate it might be right now. They're saying no to their desire to do what we're doing. And that is okay. It has nothing, the same way as if you go into a restaurant, you order a coffee, or the person comes over and says, would you like a coffee? You say no. You're not being like, you're an idiot. Why would you ask me for coffee? No, you're saying, I just don't want coffee right now. It's fine. Right? It's really that, like, it's that simple. So don't overplay this in your mind as it's some big thing, because it's really not. And part of that is going to be the way we actually invite, the wording we use, the verbiage we use. That's what's going to take the pressure off, and that's what's going to allow it to feel like, oh, okay, I'm just inviting this person. So when we're creating our invites, and we're going to do that right now. So the way I do it right now is I actually go back. I scroll back a couple days previously, look at the notes that I took, who did I start new conversations with, and I invite those people. I send those people a message, because those are new people. This is why I log everything, right? For those of you that are brand new, you're going to invite the 10 names of people that I talked to you about earlier, right? Or 5 of those 10, whatever you feel comfortable with. But I would say, like I said, a minimum of 3 of those. And you'll send this message. And what what I want you to think about when you're thinking about sending this message, or how the framework is, literally imagine that you are inviting, and I've said this before, I use it all the time because it makes sense. Literally imagine that you're going to a restaurant with some friends that you have been to before and you love it. That's why we're coaching, because we love what this system has done for us, right? So you love it. It's a great restaurant. You've got a new friend, somebody you just met, somebody you're at a party with and you're just talking to for 5 minutes, whatever it is, right? And you're just going to invite them to go with you. That's it. Like, that is the amount of pressure that is involved. You don't care if they go with you or not. Like, you'd like them to, but you're not going to be pissed if they say no, right? And you're not going to try to like talk them into coming with you. You're just going to look over legitimately and say, hey, I have no idea if you'd be interested, but me and some friends are going to go to the steak restaurant. Love you to join us if it's something you want to be a part, if you want to roll. It's really that basic. That's basically what my invites look like. If I can pull them up here, sometimes it doesn't let me pull my notes up. Let's see if it will. I don't know why. Oh, it did. Okay, awesome. So if you can see this, my invites, literally I've got a bunch of them written down for, but let's see. The one I use typically is this one, right? Which says, hey, this is totally random and I have no idea if you'd be interested or not, but my wife and I are starting a private online health and fitness group with some really cool folks. I'm stoked about it, and I'm looking for some more folks to join us. You think you or anyone else you know would be interested in jumping in with us? I use that because Dion and I have been coaching long enough that usually people know, if they've been watching us at all, if they have any interaction, they kind of have a tendency to know a little bit, or at least they're going to look at our page and be like, okay, what's going on? Yeah, I see that you guys are doing this kind of stuff. So it kind of makes sense. You could also just say something really simple like, hey, so-and-so, hey, so-and-so, I have no idea if you'd want to be a part of this, but I've got some other friends and we're all going to do this private health and fitness accountability group. And I think it'd be awesome to have you there and help me stay accountable. And I can do the same with you. Do you want to jump in with us? Or does that sound like anything that interests you? Really nonchalant. But what I would recommend is writing down one, keep it short, keep it simple. Don't try to explain everything. Just very simple, to the point. Write down one and use that one on all of the friends that you know. And I know it sounds like it might be cold. It's not. After they respond, you're going to warm that up, because this is when you start getting into asking questions and building the relationship a little bit more. If it's your friend, you start giving out the information. But right now, just for ease, it's just simple to go, okay, I get to just go, boom. I literally copy this, right? And then I go into my Facebook again, and I go back and look at, okay, who did I chat with? Who are my new conversations? So I'll kick back a couple of days. And guys, feel free to start doing this now. If you've already got the names of your friends, just going to copy and paste that message to them. Just make sure you type in their name. And I'll go back and go, okay, and I'll go into my messages and find the people that I started combos with before, and I'll start inviting them. So spend time, do 3 to 5 of those right now, and then let me know when you're done. And anybody else that wants to unmute themselves and share their invite, feel free to go ahead and do that. And I'll mute myself here so you don't have to hear me type. I thought I would, but actually mute. Raise your hand if you're already done, or if you are you still working. It's totally okay if you are. Just taking a head count. So Marty is good. All right, and Jerry's good. Everyone else is still working on it. This is why I think a process is so important, and why, you know, like creating those new conversations, like starting those new conversations, logging them, and then being able to know so you can go back and look at them. It makes it a lot quicker. I shouldn't say quicker, but more efficient, which also is quicker. So as we kind of move forward in this, and you do this more often, you're going to get used to that stuff, and you're going to go, oh, okay. And then the rest of the day, you're just, you know, checking every few minutes, or 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, responding to messages, checking with your challenge group. And it's really just that process. So people think what we do is so like crazy. No, we literally just do that. Like that's what we do. And then we just do more of that if we want more. Like it just, you know, so it really isn't as crazy. That's why I always say the process is very simple. The hard part is getting out of your way to do it. The hard part is getting past the idea of like, well, I can't do it. I'm going to feel stupid if I send this message, or what are they going to think? Or I'm going to feel crazy if I post this, or that's the hard part. All the rest of this stuff is very straightforward. It's just do this, to do this, do this. You know, build conversations, build a relationship so that you have a relationship with somebody you can actually reach out and send them a message. And then, you know, understand that you're going to hear people say no, and it's going to be great, because as long as they're saying no, they're responding. You know what I mean? Like that's fantastic. Just means that not right now. Great. Okay, no problem. I really appreciate it. And then you can keep the conversation, keep the relationship growing, because quite literally, I cannot tell you, very rarely do, like, I'm going to guesstimate 15, maybe 20% of the people that we help in an individual month are actually people that we started talking to that month. The other 80% or 90%, right, roughly, are going to be people that we have been talking to for months and months that have said no numerous times. I said no to this numerous times for a year and a half before I finally decided to say yes. And thank God people kept on asking me, and they didn't think I was being bugged, because I didn't really care that they were asking me. I just wasn't ready for it. It had nothing to do with them. So now I'm stoked. So again, when you guys get done with that, let me know, raise your hand, and we'll walk on, or I'll kind of explain the next step, which we won't do right now, but that you will do in the future. And I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen here and go back. Yeah, that's awesome, Jessica. You know, shoot, your minimum is 10, shoot for that. And then if you can hit more than that, great. The biggest thing, guys, is to kind of do it. Here's what I would recommend. Pick a certain number, maybe it's 3 or 5, and do that every day for a week, and see how it works in the respect that you're going to get some responses back. So how are you dealing with the responses of those messages and those conversations? Does that part feel overwhelming? Because if you're doing 5 people a day, you know, and sending out 5 new messages, and you're getting those responses, and it's like, whoa, I don't know what to do with these responses, it's freaking me out, then you step back. Even though you might be able to get 5 invitations out there every day, it's still, that's too much then, because you're not being able to respond to the 5 messages, or the people responding, or that part of the conversation is getting overwhelming. So step back and do 3 and just have less conversations, right? Also understand that, 1, schedule times. Like I said, this should take an hour. I don't know how long it's 10. So we're almost an hour into it, and I'm doing a bunch of explaining, right? And we're basically done. Okay, so this can take you an hour to do without question. It could take, and it takes sections of an hour. 15 minutes here, I'm going to send out 3 invites. 15 minutes here, I'm going to send out another couple invites. 5 minutes here, I'm going to just invite some friends, or I'm just going to add some friends. You know, like, you can do it in those little pockets. Don't spend all day doing. This is not a 10-hour job. Stop it. Don't be here for 10 hours all day long doing this. It's crazy, and it's not what we're here for, and it's not fun, right? If you're not focusing on the things that we just talked about, everything else, pretty much everything else, especially if you're new, is fluff. It's all the fun stuff that we like to do. Helping people takes these specific actions right here every day. Helping more people doesn't mean extra stuff. It literally means more of this stuff. That's it, right? So just kind of keep that in the framework, but don't let it consume your day. We want to have fun with this too. And recognize as well, you're going to get responses back. I send out my messages in the morning usually when I get to work, actually, I sit down and I get to work an hour early so I can just bang this stuff out. I get responses all day long. Sometimes I respond to them, but more often than not, I don't respond until I get home that night. And then if they respond while I'm in that message and I'm responding to them, if they respond back, I'm not even paying attention to most of the time. I let it go, and I will see them tomorrow morning when I respond again. And if at the end of the day, if that 24 hours went by and they're like, oh, I'm not, it took too long to respond, she's not interested anymore, they weren't interested. You were going to have to talk them into it. They weren't motivated by it, and that's okay. It's just not right for them right now. That's fine. So allow yourself to step back as a new coach, especially. It can get really exciting, and you got this conversation. You feel like, oh my gosh, I got to respond to them right now, or they're going to freak out. Take a deep breath. It's not going to happen, right? It's going to be okay. They're going to be fine, and let it just move forward and just get back to them within a day or so. Try not to go too long, but just recognize that I can stop this now, and this can be this is going to be something that I start tomorrow, and I re-pick up. So then in the morning tomorrow, it will look like this. You responded to some messages tonight, right? Awesome. Tomorrow morning, you might have some more. So maybe you go back and you go, okay, some people responded. When I sit down, I'm going to go through all of this stuff first. Then I'm going to spend 5 minutes and I'm just going to respond to everybody. Then I'm going to turn my phone off and I'm going to go do my thing or whatever. Then I'll come back to it when it's scheduled in my day and I'm going to respond to everybody again. Then I set my phone down and get in that process now, because I will tell you, if that is not happening with 3 invites a day, oh my God, when you're doing 10 or 20 and you've got all these messages coming, this will be you all day long. I guarantee it. It's something that my wife and I struggle with right now. And we need to step back. It's something I have to tell myself all the time. So don't stress over about it. Just sit down and go, literally, did I do those things and did I write them down? I wrote them down. I did them. Good. I feel accomplished. I did this. This is what I needed to do. I'm not worried about the outcome of that. I did this part and that's what needs to happen. Good. Now, as we move forward, what I usually do is I do that Monday, this exact process, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday, I go back and I look at all the names that I wrote down that I invited, and I follow up with everybody that I haven't heard from or haven't spoken to. That is the part, or that minute when I say I haven't heard from, meaning that the conversation just died, and I send them a response. Yeah, I'm interested. Tell me more. And I send them a response, and they go, and that's all you hear, crickets, right? There's no response. Then I'll follow back up with them. And my follow-ups look like, and I'll actually share this again so you guys can see it so I can read it to you. And if anybody wants to share theirs, feel free. But my follow-ups are really straightforward. And if it's very recent that I responded to them, just say, hey, it's right here. Hey, I totally hope I'm not bugging you. If I am, please let me know. I just want to let you know we're finalizing the group and I didn't want to leave you out. Zero pressure. Let me know either way. Talk to you soon. That's literally what it sounds like. It's really uninvasive. I just didn't want to leave you out. Those are actually key words there. I just did not want you to get left out. I just didn't want to leave you out. I have no idea. There's zero pressure. Just let me know either way. We'll talk soon. It's really basic. I just send that. I just bam, 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 and I send that. I copy paste that to every single person I haven't heard from or that died in conversation. And then I move on and I write all those names down. And for me, that might look like 40 follow-ups on a Friday. That's my work for that day. I add friends and I don't do invites. I just do those follow-ups. Then Saturday, I go right back into the process again and I do it all over again. So there's that too, but just keeping those really, really, really simple. If I haven't spoken to somebody like in a month or whatever, they said, you know what, I'm just not the right time right now, then I'll wait. And like a month later, I'll respond to them again and say, I usually say this, I really hope I'm not bugging you. If I am, please let me know. I just want to let you know my wife and I have another health and fitness group about to start. There's some awesome folks in it, and I wanted to make sure to invite you in case you wanted to jump in. You think you're anyone you know want to be a part of it, right? Like something really, really basic like that, where it's like, hey, I just want to let you know we've got another group. Again, no pressure. I just didn't want you to get left out. Let me know. And it's really basic. You've already invited them. They know what you're talking about, so keep it simple. So those are my Thursdays. But for you right now, especially if you are a newer coach, I don't want you to get overwhelmed with that. All I want you to do is simply focus on those actions that we did. You're gonna share your journey. And this is why it's important to share your journey, because when you do invite those new conversations, they're going to want to know what you're up to, and they're going to look at your page. And if they see nothing about your journey at all, there's nothing going on, and all you do is share stuff from other pages and stuff like that, they're going to look at it and be like, this is spam. I don't know this person. I don't know nothing about them, right? So share your journey. Angie, actually, perfect example. That post that you put today in our challenge group, right? The kind of progression posts, that is the, guys, if you didn't see this post, it was really short, to the point, and spot on. I mean, it was like literally the textbook way I would say share your story. I could not tell you to do it any better. You can take that photo and that post and bunk on your personal page, and it's like, whoa, that is exactly what you do. It basically just said, whenever I gain weight, I gain it right in my stomach. This is my problem area, right? I'm addressing a problem. Then, right, this is my issue. Now I'm in a group and I'm doing this, and check out these results, right? So I'm doing this every week, right? And then the how, I'm doing this new workout. Like literally we always think then, now, how. Then I felt like this, now I'm doing this, and this is how I'm doing it. Then I felt like this, now I have this is how I got here. Then I thought like this, now I think like this, and this is why I think like this. This is how I began to think like this. But that's the perfect kind of thing. We share that, we add 5 friends or 10, not more than 5 friends on Facebook. Instagram is different. Facebook, if you add too many, they can actually shut your account down, and they'll freeze it thinking you're spamming people. So 3 to 5 friends on Facebook, and then invite 3 to 5 people. Let's just send out that invite, write down the names, go through friends that you already know if you're new, talk to people that you already know, and just keep it very, very relaxed. And then if you don't know them, right, start that conversation. You start the conversations, then you invite from those conversations. Does that make sense to everybody? Does anybody have any questions at all about that process? Okay, it's really that simple. We just do that, and we do that every day. And as our goals grow, those actions grow. That is really it. That's the meat and potatoes. You want the secret sauce? That's it. So that's what we do. So if you guys have any questions, what I will say, if you're watching this, or if you're on here and you're a newer coach, what I will say is this: when you send those messages out and you start getting responses and you start to go, I don't know what to, like, somebody responded, I don't know what to say, don't stress it. Take a screenshot of that response, right, of your message, then send it to the coach your coach, send it to, if you're our coach, send it to Dion or myself. We will walk you through that conversation process. It's really basic. It just looks like, hey, you start asking questions, you start sharing excitement, and then you start sharing, hey, I think this would be awesome for you. You learn their pain points, and then you share second-party tool, or third-party tools we call, which is basically a video. This explains this workout I'm thinking that you would love way better than I can. Check it out. Let me know your thoughts, right? It's really basic stuff. Anybody can do it. So don't get concerned about it. And then, there's never any pressure. We'll just walk you through that process. Does that sound good, everybody? Thumbs up. Everyone makes sense? Are all the coaches in here that have teams, are you guys cool with me having everybody send you guys screenshots of their conversation so you can walk them through it? Are you guys good? Jessica, can you hear me? Come on, catch it.
I'm just like, how you I've just been working this entire time, so I didn't necessarily track everything.
I know it. I know you don't need to
got a shit ton of stuff done, you guys. I'm not gonna overwhelm you with how much I did this morning. So it's
good. It's good. That's what we want. So
can I just point out one more thing really quick?
Please do.
I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squares, and 5 of those are our Team Cup team. Just
you guys. All right. So you think you're cool. That's great. Yippee for you. That is fine. Don't you worry, but whatever. All right. Well, hey, you guys, I appreciate your guys' time. Again, if you want to walk through this process again, I'm going to put this video in the Team Cup, or the team page actually, so everybody can see it and walk through it. And then if you guys have any questions, you know where we're at. Otherwise, thank you guys for being here, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon and the rest of your weekend. All right. All right, guys. We will see you guys soon. Bye, everybody.